boxes with Flint Knox. We saw that last Victory Royale with it, and really enjoyed seeing rage component, but Airwalk's right there.
Top awareness. Just love to see it.
Disables Amsdalo and gets everything from it, but needs to circle back and try and get that chug and pop it like now if he wants the HP to get off of that.
50 and 83, not too bad. Will still go down to a heavy snipe to the body. Got to look out for that. Looking for the quick angle change here. He might rotate out into the storm if he can flip this. If needed, the player still sitting right through that corner. You see he's checking through the brick, holding the edit on his own ramp. Closes the outside out, decides to rotate down underneath. Take the chance here to just box up a little bit, opting not to push that player. You can't really tell how much HP and shield they potentially have, so if he does go out there, he doesn't see what we see. Only 100, maybe 99 HP. Gross in there, but Airwalk's probably, I mean, a player of this caliber could easily push into 96 and then follow through, like we said. There's a pickup. Airwalk's got up to 3 now, 32 points, and a ton of builds.
Yeah, and he got the Shadow Bomb for it, which for this longer rotation is going to be huge.
Just the one, though.
Yeah.
Just the one.
Just the one, and is going to pop it early. Also notice you can see that Storm Surge threshold on the right side. So what Storm Surge is, once you get into these later circles for circles 6 and 7, if there's more than 30 people left in the lobby, if you have been the passive player, Storm Surge will begin to punish you. You will start taking 10 damage every second as it comes out through. Once those strikes come on down, and now it turns off since we're below the 30 player threshold. So now just all about the elims and the rotation, since we're not even at the placement thresholds yet.
I just want to point out quick too, as you said, for passive players, Airwalk's definitely an example of not a passive player. He was 500, a little over 500 damage above the threshold, which is insane. And it's shots like that, 80 to the back on the fish on rotation, that kept him safe from Storm Surge. Crusher goes down. Airwalk picks up his 4th elimination. One more elim. We get to the placement points here. The top 25, going to pick up 3 there. Get to top 15, that's 5. Top 5, that's 7. Not sure if dropped in. I'm not seeing him. I believe that was him all the way up there. Number of players, though, 25 heading into the 8th circle soon, as advised. 1 elimination, 35 points. No movement here. Bandages for late game, but that's not going to pay off right now. That is going to pay off. Carrera goes down. Another one. The follow-through finds Ghosts on the move. Looking for the 3rd. The triple gets it. Exon down. 4 eliminations now for Advise. Playing absolutely incredibly. The heads up right now. You'll love to see it.
Oh, baby, a triple. Well done right there. And that was Sky up on the high ground. You saw him now just drop back down with a number of players going up, getting closer to that 2nd placement threshold. Sky picks up Yahtzee. Mick the Beast also in this lobby. Another player who you've seen constantly in the top 5, desperately trying to get a solo spot. Because, again, this is the last week. Kazrola does get ticked over by that storm change. Again, 60 seconds if you damage someone. Random siphon coming through, and we're into the top 15 now with Airwalks on the mid tarp and looking for more targets.
Imagine a situation you get a tag on someone and 50 seconds later they get eliminated by the storm. You get that siphon at just the right moment. Can be so clutch. The timing can be so important on that. 11 players left, 10 now as Sky goes down to the feed. Swaggy picks one off. 6 eliminations for Airwalks. Push through this wall, find a player on the rotation from behind. Back-to-back shots, takeoffs, gets eliminated. Airwalks picks up another one.
He's doing so well at finding people on the edge of the storm, getting next to him, and then just dipping out for a second. But the one thing you notice, he never dips out into the storm for longer than enough to take more than 1 tick. It does take a second to go through, and Majestic actually just picked up a triple of his own because of those storm changes. 1 player he elim'd, 2 got ticked over from the storm. That should be the player potentially up on the high ground, but now we have our top 5 airwalks. 2 builds left, is running with that campfire now, but is sitting on 7 elims. Advise all the way up on the high ground. Majestic was on the low ground with Mick the Beast. Airwalks in the bottom right-hand corner, gets traded out by Mick the Beast. Zedek drops down in the shadow form. He's not jumping around, so the player doesn't know where he is. 80 to the body. Can he find it? Pushes through with the combat. Says, I don't need a pickaxe. I'll just take your wall anyway. Brilliantly done there, but now, can he win the 1v1 from the low ground? Player is one.
To the last second, the fake out on the ramp.
Fortnite, learn to fight from
Bull gets 2 taps there. The shotgun follows through a 92 crit. Gets him the elimination. Double back, pick up the rest of that wood, anything they can top off with. Oh, shots coming in from the sides. Gonna have to wall himself off, double air, and ops instead of popping the minis to shadow bomb, just because I think the fear of positioning there and exposure. Maybe adding a little too much tension. Move. Gonna have a chance to heal up. Meanwhile, the top of this hill, thick with players. Where they stacked up trying to make rotation here. 41. Well, actually, they're from the stream. Trick Pog rotating forward.
Crew also in the match was second last time we saw him there. We got a number of duo qualifiers over on the side there. Players looking to get their solo spot. You see Kuma using the stink to try and force the player forward, and then editing out. Boom, there goes the second one, knowing they can't stack in volume. And Quadra, that one smells. Go get yourself a gas mask. Try and queue back up.
Okay, when you're sitting on 3 elims now, holding the edit. Just going to try and peek on through, deciding to apply a little more pressure. Oh my gosh, the back-to-back. The stink bombs, very lethal, especially at this point in the game. You have to realize these players understand if there's people that were caught rotating, got tagged up significantly, and didn't have the ability to heal, as will be the case quite often in games like this where you have so many people in such a tight space. There's a good chance that people that are boxed up in front of you are potentially missing HP, maybe some fall damage, maybe they got hit by multiple people on rotation. They could have been, I mean, we even saw a Shadow Bomb player get shot just moments before that, and we're about 50 HP. That is a good opportunity to just chuck the stink in there, maybe do an HP check, see if they're low, and in this case, it pays off. 2 eliminations with basically no effort. And as you said before, we're looking to get the player count down to 30 before that Storm Surge goes away. We're sitting at 38 above for Dave. 32 players left, so 2 more need to go down.
Oop, boxes the baller in. The baller is going to just boost right on out. Says, I want nothing to do with that. Now you can see on the side, Dave getting another tag there. You see that threshold number also going up. Needs to be conscious. He left that edit open, but the player, because his back is to the storm, isn't going to have time to take shots towards him. So well played from Dave. Other player pushes it, and Tripburn from Singularity kind of caught a little bit there. Seemed like he was going for an aggro play. But
I think potentially he expected Dave to not look back because, the catch. Good grab there. Tripburn, I feel like was thinking, okay, Dave's not looking at me. I'm just going to step out. I have the angle. I'm going to take the shots from this side. And ended up kind of getting clapped very quickly. Dave's reaction of rotation down there. I'm not sure how to say that name. I'm just going to put that out. It looks like a sneeze. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm not even, I normally even try and attempt on that, but we're in the top 25. Let's pay attention to the rotations. As you see, a number of players playing billiards there on the low ground. Crew up on the high ground. You have WGS-Ji, the player from South Korea, playing over in Europe right now. This is the most ballers I've seen in the lobby in forever.
The most ballers I've seen in the game easily this weekend.
I mean, I don't think we saw this many ballers in Europe when they were at 300 health. Europe has an affinity or like a particular hatred towards ballers rolling around.
We've made comments in the past about how they always seem to be fans of taking shots at players that are in ballers on the move when they have an opportunity to. Maybe a follow through here, the back-to-back. Can't quite find it. But yeah, look at how many are left out on the field. This is a very rare sight for European qualifiers.
I mean, and it kind of compounds on top of itself because the more players who are in ballers, they aren't going to take shots at each other. And if you're not going to waste shots on baller players, you're not going to eliminate them. So, but once the explodes start coming out, that's when things because the RPGs can damage through the ballers, and with the 150 HP, one AR round into them and then followed by an RPG can be a ton of damage. But now Pill is just going to go to work, ignore the ballers on the low ground, running around like they're a game of marbles, and he finds Trockley, and he finds Elocrats right after.
13 players left. Still in the rotation here, taking a chance to pop a mini. Does have the campfire, may or may not put it down. Not at this point. The storm's too close to his back. He's going to have to push forward. Like you said, multiple ballers are still in play, and with players not jumping out and not having pressure applied to them, you're looking at way less than 11 people. The player count remaining, that's not the number that are actually forced to engage each other right now. The people in ballers are almost being ignored. The heavy snipe from behind, and Mavjo picks up an Elim, the push inside. He realizes him. Look at how many people are around in the same box.
And instead, everybody goes up to the sky. No Elim coming out there. So all of a sudden, 3 up, 7 down. Telezeto on the ultimate high ground. Wesley Nutt and Blackso on the low ground. Jag 80X also on the mid-tarp. Telezeto looking for shots. Has redeploy and the flint knock. Not going to find any. So ultimate high is going to be in his control. 10 players left, but he gets challenged.
One more all the way in the high ground. Just barely lost it. The flint knock flying up above. What a play. Takes the high ground back. Has ultimate high, looking down from above, only 29 builds. Has the redeploy to catch himself if he has to jump off, if he runs out of materials, but we'll see here in a second.
Somebody else just went up.
Yep, you heard it. There it is, the fish flying past. Telezeto might take a shot. The flint knock kind of gets stuck in his own box for a second. This 80X dropping in. Mexi from Loot Boy in the middle of your screen there. Telezeto still has the high ground, drops down to the next tarp. Mexi building out, trying to stay in the safe zone. This is the most players we've seen in a zone this tight in a long time. The rift.
That's one. Is one player up in the rift. So you have one player up in the sky. Telezeto on ultimate high ground. Power, Psyches, and Blackso down the low. You have Telezeto in your top right. Power in your bottom right. Telezeto looking for it, and he finds Mexi out of the sky, and he gets the Cypher. Now he's dropping down with the redeploy, looking for Psychic on the campfire, and he finds it. Gets the Siphon, and it's enough to put him over the top for the victory royale. Telezeto, you are mad indeed. The 2 Elims being the swing. 12 points there. Well done, sir.
The transition of the shot with the flint knock midair into an immediate descend, the redeploy to catch himself, and then the swap to the TAC AR and spray through the build while the player was sitting on top of both campfires. 200 IQ.
That was really well played from Telezeto. That's probably some of the best overall flint knock usage we've seen. We took high ground.
have to imagine the day when Fortnite was, you know, it was the battle royale portion was in its, you know, early. You can't pause and push through Kai's and picking up the first Elam. It's things like this. You could not have told me this is what Fortnite was going to evolve into. And you have to admit, whether you love or hate the game, no matter what you think about it, how things have changed and grown is fantastic to see. People are really pushing the technical skill that I think Fortnite has to offer in a way that no one could have predicted.
I mean, it's actually absurd to me, and like I said, I've been able to be a part of the process from playtesting through all of this.
You've been around since the beginning.
Yeah, I've never would have fathomed that players were doing this. I think one of the first things when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's good because you can be aggressive because you can like build at someone in your own cover. You don't just like hide behind a wall and stuff. And now it turns into, instead, these guys are building literal tunnels and mansions and skyscrapers in the span of 2 seconds. I think one of the plays we saw yesterday where the player one by one threw a trap down, edited a ramp, and shot all in the span of 0.2 seconds. So I'm like, all right, you're playing a different game than me. Yeah, right there. Sky taking away Yarkos' ceiling with a single shot, double replaces it, double edits down, and then pushes in the space of nearly a half second. He gets it 50, or I was about to say 57, but 60 points now as the top 15 does
literally just take
over. The player gets taken down, and Sky is creeping up into that qualification range. Again, top 8 players will go, and this is the last shot. How they earn the points: top 25 is 3, top 15 is 5, top 5 is 7, the victory royale is 10. Each Elam is 1, and Skype certainly knows that. He's been playing absurdly aggro. If he hits you, he wants to go.
You saw for just a second in there a quick attempt at maybe a heavy sniper shot, but he realized it wasn't loaded, opted back to try and push through the ramp instead. Very quick thinking on Skype's part, the swap out for the combat shotgun instead of the tac. Pretty common there, player looting inside, but Skype more focused on rotation and position, as placement points will be everything for a player that is this close to making it to New York City.
That was so good by him to go around the backside of that building so he could extend the shadow bomb timer up to now get up to the mid tarp. You have Light up on the high ground, 13 up Nay, now just dropping down on the tarp below Skite. So Skite is on secondary high, but he's boxed up right now. Light's going to begin to work top down, as we still have a number of ballers who are going to begin to get shot out as we head towards the second placement threshold. Kinzo gets taken down there, and Light range shots down onto these ballers, saying, hey, you got to play Fortnite with the rest of us. Burn your mask, get out of there. Top 15 is on the board. John22 on Twitch picks up Calzo. Uno OG goes down, and Light continues to check his top, make sure he's safe, and then range shots down. Dalo gets taken out as we get closer and closer to the top 10.
12 players remaining. Light still ultimate high ground. Skype right underneath, and I believe I saw for a moment Benji Fishy was in this game, but it looks like he's been eliminated at this point. Kaizen on the ultimate low ground, going to have to take an opportunity to heal up if possible. 9 players left, and Light is looking for a peak.
Thing to keep